Hi, here I am. Missed live on Workout Wednesday, unfortunately, for various reasons, but I'm here recording what I was going to do this morning. So I wanted to talk to you today about doing your own massage, okay? So I have a few instruments of torture to show you. Now this is called myofascial release, and that is when you want to smooth out and lengthen your short, tight muscles. Now we all get short, tight muscles from muscular imbalances. The most common one is from sitting. We're sitting like this all day, so these muscles become very, very tight, okay? And then the muscles on the other side get longer. So to get your muscular imbalance sorted out, so if you can imagine that's the tight muscle underneath and the long muscle on top, and to get them to come back up to here again, you have to lengthen the short one and you have to tighten the long one. So I'm going to show you today what you can do to help release those tight muscles. Now a lot of the time you might feel those tight muscles after you've done some exercise or you worked out and you're feeling a bit sore. Other times you don't know you've got tight muscles until you start using these wonderful instruments of torture. So I would like to introduce you to the big blue sausage, as I call it, otherwise known as the foam roller. Now, you might have seen these in the gym, you may never have seen them at all, but I'm going to show you very briefly what you can do with them to help smooth out your muscles. So I'm going to put it down on the floor, okay? And if you're a delicate flower like me, you might like to have a mat down on the floor so it's not quite so bad on your knees. All right, so I'm going to show you how to roll out your quads, all right? And that's the front of your thighs. And all you do is lie on the top of it. Now this is quite hard. You can get bumpy ones, you can get shorter ones, but you want it fairly firm. The firmer it is, the harder you're going to get into those muscles and the more you're going to release them. So these are my quads, all right? So all you do is literally, take it back a wee bit, all right, just roll up and down your thighs. It's as easy as that, all right? Now, we've got one particular muscle in our quads that runs from our hip sideways, so diagonally across to our knee. And that one can get very, very tight. So you have to go on a wee angle to do that, all right? And then you go across sideways on your leg, like so, all right? So when you find a sore bit, it's good to stay on your sore bit for as long as you can. If it's really, really painful, just go over it a wee bit and then come back to it. But it can be very sore. I mean, even doing that was felt a wee bit sore for me. You also want to go down the sides of your legs, okay? So that can cause a lot of tight muscles as well. And you just go down the sides like so. You can do your calves. You do that by crossing your legs, put one on top of the other to give you some extra weight. Lift up and then roll like so. If you can't lift up because your wrists aren't strong enough, then just do what you can. Slide in to and fro. That's a wee bit sore for me there. All right, so that's your calves. You can also go down the sides of your calves as well. I tell you, the first time you do this, you feel a bit spammy, but you get used to it. All right, and you go up and down the sides of your calves too. It's not easy to do your hamstrings, which are at the back of here, because they're very, very deep muscles. So you'll see quite often a lot of trainers will actually do that on their clients. Now, I've got other things to show you to get into your glutes and right here. You can do it on the foam roller, but it's a wee bit tricky. So quite often, I will use a ball, a medicine ball, which is very, very hard. And you literally just sit on it and wiggle around, and you find your sore spots and get right in there. And I tell you, that that is sore, and that's going to help get those muscles released. All right, so that's one way of doing your bum. I also have these little things here. Now these are quite good. You can get them in different sizes. You can use them, say, up on your shoulders, if you've got, like on your chest, sorry, up here, so it's going to be really, really tight. You can put it up against a wall. Not very easy to do it against the sofa, but you can put it up against the wall, like so, and dig into the back of your shoulders. Or you can do what I tend to do, and then sit on it, not on the mat, on a hard surface, and get right into, really get into between those muscles. But you can't get in with this, which will slide over the top. Now we all need to stretch. We all need to do this kind of stuff, because if we don't, our muscles get really, really tight, and the tighter they get, the worse it's going to be as you get older. Now you'll see a lot of bodybuilders, guys generally, who never stretch, and they'll be walking around the gym like this, you know. I had a client once whose calves were so tight she could hardly squat. So you want to have a good range of movement in your body, especially as you're aging. So stretching, and I'll show you some more stretching at another point in time. Stretching is really important, as is this, because you do this before you stretch. So if you can imagine, and I used to actually, this is my other instrument of torture. This is what I used to take to my clients when I did personal training, the rolling pin, right? So if you can imagine that you're actually, think of your muscles like a bit of pastry, okay? And you're rolling out the pastry from a big ball into something that's nice and flat, right? So when it's flat, when your muscle is that nice sort of pliable, it's easier to stretch it. So you get more benefit from the stretching, okay? So I will teach you more and more as we go on. There's different things you can do with the roller to do with your back and what have you, but I just wanted to show you down here. This is where people get very, very tight. To get into your hips, it can look a bit strange if you're doing it in public on a roller, which is what I tend to do, but you just need to get right into your groin area on a hard surface and really, really dig in. And that's going to help release those muscles that are really, really tight from sitting all the time. So I hope that's been a wee bit helpful for you today. And I think what I'm going to do is another time I'm going to tell you how to stretch out those hip muscles, because that's one of the worst ones for you. All right, so I'll see you again soon. Bye.